Hello, everyone, and welcome back to It Ain't Giving. This is me, Show Florence Lacroix, and
Noella Fierce. Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel.
yes. Heavy spoilers. I'm gonna just put that out there for The Last of
Oh,
Us season
absolutely.
two.
We
Season
will be
two.
spoiling The Last of Us season 2 in 3, 2, 1. What's not giving for you, mama?
And Joel being dead, bitch. That's what's not
Yeah.
giving. Like,
Honestly, I'm gonna have to echo that. That's what's not giving. And that is going to be what we talk about for a decent majority of this podcast. And
yes.
also, today is a little mukbang episode. I have Chipotle here, a Chipotle bowl with brown rice, pinto beans, black beans, guacamole, lettuce, cheese, honey chipotle chicken, and pico de gallo. That's what I
Mm.
have.
I have chicken lo mein leftovers and sesame chicken leftovers from
Hmm.
when we watched episode three
We
last
watched
night.
episode 3 last night together on Discord. It was very fab.
Yes, yes. So going into let's start off episode one.
Yeah, episode 1
The casting they did for Miss Abby
for Abisha.
cleared.
It was very good, very good.
Like she's so good at playing her character. I hate her so much, but I still live for her.
And that's
Um.
like that's good acting.
Mhm. Mhm. Um, what specifically? What happened? The second episode was so jam-packed that I just remember
It makes
everything
me
in the
like
second
forget what
episode.
happened in
I
the first
forgot.
episode.
Yes, because like, what happened in the first episode? I'm trying to recall.
So they introduced us to Abby. And then what happened? I think Ellie went out on a mission. Oh
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. She went out on a
Mm.
mission with Dina, and they like fought off these two, or they went into this like grocery store or something. Ellie
Mm-hmm.
fell through the floor.
Mm-hmm.
She got bit by this child clicker, which was like semi smart, like semi sentient, which is real spooky, which was not in the game. And that was very like whoa. They're already introducing new shit, and we'll get into that in episode 2 as well. They did
And
a
it was like
lot of things differently from the
it
game
was
in episode
luring
2.
her and making
Mm-hmm.
noises, and it sounded like a whole human, and like would speak at times, and baited her into literally a trap and then jumped her. So like if she wasn't immune, she would have been dead right there.
She sure would have.
But it had some type of hunting mechanism and it was hunting Ellie and I was like, "Oh, this is crazy." And then they end up coming back after that mission, right? Or did they end up still being stuck out there and then the blizzard came and then they couldn't radio back and get back to home base?
I can't remember where episode 1 ended off.
Me neither.
No, I think they got back. No, I remember Ellie got back and she like told the
Oh
council what
yeah, she
happened.
did. She did.
Show the council what happened. It's like this like clicker was like semi sentient and was like baiting me or whatever she said.
Mm-hmm.
So I did that on the council. She got a little slap on the wrist from Tommy, which is Joel's brother. And I can't quite remember. Oh, didn't they end that episode off with Joel telling Ellie like he was going to teach her how to play the guitar? I
Yeah, I think
remember that
so.
happened. Also, what happened in episode 1 was the dance at the like the community celebration
And there was a
where
hate crime.
yeah, Ellie got called a um homophobic slur,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and then that man tried to apologize by giving her a sandwich the next morning. Like, girl, boo. Like, come on now.
Right. You did all that. I want to eat your fucking homophobic sandwich.
Right. Probably put some poison in that hoe.
Mm-hmm.
But no. In episode 3, he sort of kind of redeems himself a little bit. Not in Ellie's eyes, but
Mm-hmm. Well,
we'll get
yes,
there. We'll get there. We'll get there. So is
possibly.
that everything that happened in episode 1?
That's all I can remember.
Mm-hmm. Now, episode
Cause so,
2 is where shit
mm,
really, like, whoa. Episode 2 is where things get crazy. It was a jam-packed, cinematic-ass episode.
mm-hmm.
Um, so we start off sending out this patrol. Ellie's on it. All right. Who is she with?
She was with that Asian dude.
Yeah, she's with the Asian. What was his name? I can't
I
remember
don't
his
know,
name.
girl. I don't know, girl. Oh, he's fine though.
He's a very beautiful man. Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. They go out on their little expedition, and they
Oh,
end
and
up.
then, like the blizzard hits,
Yeah, they
and
make a
then
pit
they
stop in a blizzard,
mm-hmm,
and like they're
they
trying
make
to
a pit
radio
stop at
back
the gas
home because
station.
they hear them trying to radio in for Joel and that one girl that was with Ellie when they found that clicker in the first episode. Forgot her name
Mm-hmm.
already.
Dina.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. We ended up taking a pit stop somewhere because it was like extremely cold and they needed to,
Mm-hmm.
go inside, get warm, take cover. Um,
Like a winter snowstorm was about to started, so
right.
they took refuge in this. I think it was like a gas station that
It had weed all up in that bitch.
mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And I think the weed was from this one person that Joel had to take out, who was the therapist of the town. Like the therapist, um, he was the husband of the therapist in town,
Mm.
basically. So oh yeah,
Captain.
episode 1. There was also this really good scene with Joel acting, with the therapist. He was like, "I saved her." He's talking about like what he did, but without actually saying it,
Right.
obviously. But yeah. Anyway,
Mm.
back to episode 2. We're in this gas station with Ellie and Gina's boyfriend. They get trapped. Then we cut to a scene of Abby, and she splits off from her little wolf crew,
Mm-hmm.
her little firefly crew. She sees 2 people patrolling down the hill, and they obviously don't see her. She's got her little rifle. She tries to get the ambush on them. She ends up slipping down the hill and falling into a pit of sleeping undead, like a bunch of clickers,
Mm-hmm.
runners, regular. Even the
Mm-hmm.
big boy was in there.
Mm-hmm.
And the big boy is what
Everything.
woke everybody up, because once he's up, everybody follows, because that's like kind of like the hive leader. It's almost like a queen bee situation.
Mm-hmm.
So she outruns all of them. She ends up running into Joel. She has to climb under this fence while there's hundreds of zombies trying to beat down the fence. That was a really good
Literally.
scene. That was straight from the game, but it was done really well in the show.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
She ends up meeting Joel on the other side. She gets saved by Joel. And then once Joel gets into like safety with her, Dina ends up calling out like, "Joel," and then you can see it click in Abby's mind where it's like, "This the nigga I've been searching for this
Yep.
entire time."
Yep.
So she plays it cool. She's like, "Oh, we actually have we have set up camp in this one house, not too far away from here." And because there's a blizzard outside, Joel feels like they have no other option than to try and trust this girl that, in other circumstances, you just save this girl's life. Of course, she's gonna, usually, not
Right.
lead you into danger.
Right.
They get to this house. Oh my god.
Horrible.
Oh
Horrible.
my god.
Horrible.
They get into the house and they end up, all of Abby's friends and them, they turn on Joel and Dina. Dina gets put to sleep. That way she can't see anything, but she ends up remembering a bunch of names and the things that she saw, that'll come into play episode 3. Um, and then Dina, or not Dina, Abby enacts her revenge on the protagonist, Joel. Protagonist to us, antagonist to Abby, obviously, because he murdered her entire friend group, all of her daddy, like,
Hmm. And we haven't
so
even we forgot to mention the in the middle of that chase, the zombies are chasing them, but then they divert to the town
yep, they
because the
divert to the town.
workers fucking were like chopping like some vines in a pipe and
And I
then
alerted
realized it
them.
was like spores from like the infected and it completely alerted all of the zombies. So as they're like running and chasing after Joel and Abby, they all of a sudden just beeline straight for the town where like all of the civilization is, where Tommy's family is, like just beeline straight for it. And they basically have to somebody is on watch and ends up yelling ring the bell because they're like it's infected. And bitch, they get armed up to the teeth. That whole scene where they have like all the equipment and all these people that are like ready with their drill,
It was
that
so
was
good.
cunt. And then like as the zombies are making their way into the town, how they're like losing footing and Tommy's wife fucking she lets out the dogs on like a final like whim, like we gotta save this town, like this is our final resort. And those dogs are like fucking highly trained to kill any infected, and we're putting those bitches down like it was nothing. I was like, absolutely, this gives Modern Warfare. The dogs attacking. I was like, yeah, get their asses. Uh-huh.
That was their
But
final kill streak. Yep.
yup. That was the last thing that they can use against the infected. All while Abby is luring Joel straight into fucking his death,
Yep.
where, like you said, the other girl was drugged, Joel was beaten and battered up, and long and drawn out. Ellie makes her way over to the location, and she like hears all this like loud commotion, like wondering what the fuck it is, and she slowly makes her way to where she finds Abby beating the shit out of Joel, and she fucking wants to go save him, and she's fucking fighting off the other people that are inside of the room, helping Abby fucking orchestrate this whole ordeal and allowing her to just beat up on Joel because she's reenacting her revenge because her fucking father was that doctor that he fucking killed in fucking season one when he shot up the goddamn fucking Firefly hospital
The entire
to get to her.
hospital.
Like, shot up everybody, just left the nurses, bitch. Like,
Pretty much.
so
He
she
essentially
gets
enacted a genocide on the Fireflies.
he kind of did. No
like,
shade. Yeah. Now
like
you
when you
put it
think
that
about it
way.
that way, like,
Yeah. Yeah.
like single-handedly took out like 30 to 40 people,
Yeah.
and that is that they were like the highest-ranking Fireflies
Well.
who, wow, two wrongs don't make a right. Their end goal was to save the entire human race with
Yeah.
finding a cure. Now, granted, I've seen some people say online, like after season one came out, it's like it probably wouldn't have worked and Ellie would have died for nothing.
That's
While
what
that
I
might be
think.
true,
Hmm.
they were at least trying. But
Hmm.
in order to get into and try to make a cure, they have to open up the brain and get the cordyceps from the brain, because that's
Gotcha.
where the cordyceps um, migrate
Resides.
to and reside to.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, anyway, oh, I'm
Hmm.
hot. This honey chipotle is kind of spicy.
Did you get that red sauce?
No, never
Oh,
again.
just the Chipotle honey chicken.
Yeah.
Sometimes they be like making it a little bit too hot. I went there one time and it was a
Hmm.
little extra spicy, and I was like, it's not as sweet as I had it last time.
Yeah, this one's definitely more spicy than it is sweet,
Mm-hmm.
but still good.
I
I'm
can,
about like almost halfway through with my bowl. Where
bitch,
are
I
we?
inhaled
Time
my
wise, I'm
food. I ain't
almost
got
halfway through
nothing
the
left.
episode. You ate all of it already? Gag.
Mm-hmm.
She
Mm-hmm.
was girl, a little behind the scenes tea. She was fiending for this food.
Bitch.
Because before every episode, we like to do a little test recording where we like to see if the framing is correct, the audio is good, and we look fab. This little 7-second clip that we recorded took like 10 minutes to upload, and that entire time we were just like, oh my god, my food's just sitting there, just
Just
waiting
felt
to
my
be eaten.
stomach acid ripping up my stomach. I'm just like,
Like your
oh.
stomach just knew that food could be inside, but it's not because it's just sitting
Mm-hmm.
there.
Mm-hmm.
It was
Mm-hmm.
making all types of noise.
It was hurting me.
Mm-hmm. Where were we? The rest of us tea.
There, Joel is getting beat up. Ellie stumbles in, and she's apprehended and stopped from doing anything.
Mm-hmm.
And you can take us off from there because your storytelling is immaculate. As I
Really? Thank
reapply,
you.
yes, as I reapply some lip gloss.
Okay. So Ellie, sneaks up into this room, sees Joel on the ground, tattered and battered up by this golf club, and then she screams out, Joel. She ends up getting one little knife lick in on this Latino boy, and that really ticked him off. He was about to kill her, but then
Mm-hmm.
he gets stopped by one of the Fireflies. He's like, no, we only came here for Joel. We're not killing innocent civilians. So they end up knocking her out. Like they beat her the fuck up too. Probably
Right.
broke a rib or something. Um, but yeah, her last moments with Joel were both of them lying on face down, not face down, but on their side, and just seeing Joel get a golf club speared into his neck as he bleeds out slowly onto the floor
Horrible.
after getting beat up for who knows how long, hours probably.
Took it like a shotgun to the fucking
Oh
knee.
yeah,
Like,
this all started in order to disarm Joel. Um, they were talking for a little bit, bantering back and forth, and then Abby's like, enough of this, and then just immediately, just so jarringly, shotgun blasts his kneecap off,
yeah.
and he falls to the ground, and that's when the beating commences.
And then use the golf club to beat up that shot up leg. Like,
Yup. Oh my god, the pain. I can't. Ooh. What a horrible way to go out, but
oh my God. He's a tough motherfucker, and he endured all that
girl,
until he got
I would have
stabbed in
passed
the
out.
neck.
I would have died.
Like, it's the fuck he endured all that until he got stabbed in the neck. I'm like, that was a tough motherfucker.
Mm-hmm.
That's my man. Like, I'm so sick I ain't seen his face since that episode, and his face was all beat up. Give
Mm-hmm.
us a flashback, goddammit. Like, I need to see Pedro Pascal again. I need to see my baby daddy, my husband up on screen again because I can't stand not seeing him this entire season. Give us a flashback. I don't give a fuck.
Okay.
Expedite it.
So that pretty much wraps up episode 2. And do we want to talk about episode 3? Because I know you have other shit to talk about.
Yeah, talk about
What do you
episode
wanted to
three.
talk
What?
about?
We can talk
You
about
said you
episode
wanted to
three.
talk about
We
other
still got
stuff, though.
time.
Okay. So
We
episode
got
3
time.
kicks off with it's a lot of mourning. A lot of mourning happening in
Yeah.
episode 3. It kicks
Yeah.
off with Tommy sort of like cleaning up Joel's body to prepare it for burial. And he says, send my regards to Sarah, or something along those lines. It's a very heartfelt scene, very touching, very, very sad. If I hadn't already known all the events that take place in the game, it would have gotten a tear out of me.
Yeah.
Same with last episode. I'll share my hot take on Joel's death at a later date. But episode 3, Tommy's mourning, Joel. We cut to Ellie in the hospital. She wakes up from her little coma or whatever.
Right.
They ask her a bunch of questions if she's all right and blah, blah, blah. She does a very excellent job at masking, as many people on the spectrum, do. I don't know if Ellie's on the spectrum, but it was giving like masking in order to, like conceal
Right.
and just
I
like
know
get
what you
through
mean.
the
I know what
day.
you mean.
But yeah, she ends up getting released from the hospital. And then she goes to her and Joel's house for the first time in I think like 2 or 3 months, and you can literally see like just the dust is in the air. You
Yeah,
can
it
tell
was
how
real
stagnant
dusty.
it's been in the house. She like walks through very somberly, works her way over to his bed, which I think it was either Tommy or Tommy's wife that left um, Joel's gun, I think Joel's shirt, and was it his watch and his watch
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
in this little red box that was sitting on the end of the bed. She opens it up, takes the gun, of course, and then she walks over to his closet and sobs into his clothing, just so
It probably
oh
still
so
smelled
sad.
like him.
Yeah,
It probably still smelled
because
like him.
mm-hmm. But yeah, we get
So
to
sad.
Dina ended up visiting the hospital shortly after Ellie had already left. So she's like, well, where else would she be other than at home? So Dina comes to the house, knocks on the door. It's like, Ellie. And Ellie's like, just 1 second, because she don't want to show her emotions to nobody, child. Like,
Right.
I was watching the show. I'm like, girl, just show your emotions to Dina. Like, she ain't gonna care.
That's
Like, it's
your
okay to be
friend.
vulnerable.
Yeah,
But
that's your
she's like,
friend.
so I gotta be a hard ass. I gotta be tough. She's very
Miss
much,
Fuck.
hard headed. So
Yeah.
she tries to wipe away the tears and whatnot, clear her red eyes. She sits down at the table, at the diner table, with Dina, and they start discussing. And Dina brought a peace offering because she knew what she was about to say would piss Ellie the fuck off.
Uh,
And what she had to say was that she knew where the Fireflies were and who, you know, actually all of the names
right.
were.
Hmm.
And she didn't want to tell Ellie because she knew that she would just end up ripping out all of the hospital equipment and, leaving
Be
the
like, I'm gonna go
hospital
get them.
in a
Hmm.
beaten up state and probably end up dying, like not even halfway through because
Hmm.
her body has not healed, not just physically, but mentally as well. But she really wanted her to get well physically.
Right.
So she ends up telling Ellie that the people that killed Joel were um, WLF, the Washington Lakefront or something,
Hmm.
which basically means wolves. I guess they're called the wolves now, not the fireflies, but they used to be
Yeah.
fireflies. But anyway, um, the whole town, not just Ellie and Joel, or not just Ellie and Tommy, are grieving because the entire town lost many
Has
civilians in this
right.
attack, and this leads there to be a council meeting where the entire town democratically, votes. They've appointed like 10 or 12 leaders that vote on, issues that are brought up by the civilians very
Hmm.
democratically.
Right.
And in
And
this
actually
town
listen to
hall
the
meeting,
citizens.
they are discussing whether or not to send 16 of their best soldiers to go and enact justice or revenge. But Ellie likes to say it's justice. That was in her plea, to the
Right.
people. So they go through all these people and they hear what they have to say. Then at the end, it's Ellie giving her, very doctored and very manufactured speech about
Mm.
how this is just not right, and we're doing this for the town. We can't let this get away. And obviously, everybody in that room kind of knew that Ellie was bullshitting, but she did put on one
Right.
hell of a performance. I will give her
Mm-hmm.
that.
Mm-hmm.
But it
Mm-hmm.
wasn't believed by the people that know her most closely, which
Right.
leads to the panel voting no 8-3 yeses. So they voted no, and obviously Ellie's disheveled by this, but fret not, for Dina has a plan.
Right.
Um, and she was able to get somebody who was on their side to help them out in order to sneak out of the town. Um, and this person was the person that called Ellie and Dina a homophobic slur in the town's, little get together. celebration
Right.
thing in episode one. And Ellie very like smugly and snidely accepts the rifle trade because it's a better rifle,
Right.
and the horse that Dina and Ellie are going to leave the town in and on to pursue revenge on Abby.
Well, yes.
And that's pretty much kind of where it halts. We get some backstory on, I think, characters that are, or a new subgroup of people that are going to be introduced probably next episode or somewhere down the line, of
Yeah.
this like cult group where they have this strange symbol on them and they have scars on their face, kind of like Joker,
Hmm.
but not as pronounced.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was episode 3. A lot of setup, a lot of build up, very slow, somber, and reflective of
Yes.
what happened the episode prior because it was
Oof.
so crazy. Like so much
Jam
happened that episode.
packed.
Very jam packed. And now that I'm like reflecting on it a little bit, it makes sense to slow it down after such a crazy episode. I
Yeah.
just wish that the jam packed episode was episode 3
Right.
and not so early on in the season. But that's besides the point. It was still a great episode, great storytelling, phenomenal acting, of course. You
Yeah.
know. Oh, Rudy's barking. That's my puppy. Y'all can hear him.
I was like, I ain't gonna say nothing because you usually use the little thing that like it blurs out the background, but recently you haven't been doing it as much. I think we should put it on for an episode we're eating though, for sure. Yeah, for an episode we're
Put it on for
eating,
this episode.
yeah, next episode you can turn it off, but while we're eating, that would be crazy. Um, what was I gonna say? Oh, I want to talk a little bit about my little drama. This isn't even like a full drama segment. There's just nothing that really be happening in the influencer sphere about really like influencers that I like would care to want to talk about. Like I don't care to talk about like David Dobrik and like I don't know Tana Mojo and I'm like, where are the beauty gurus? Like, where are the bitches that do makeup and are messy and like the bitches like Jeffree Star and all them? They have calmed down recently, but as of recently, Jeffree Star was on. It was on TikTok Live. This man was dragging this other influencer. His name is 2K. He's like this little straight boy that was making a bunch of like public uh like just like throwing his shots like at Jeffrey without like having to go into the DMs and being like, I would, da da da, like Jeffrey could get it, da da da, and I'm like, so go get it, go DM Jeffrey, like he'll respond immediately, like what? He loves a good straight man, like so easy when it comes to a straight man and Jeffree Star. Those two go together real nicely, but that's besides the point. Um. I guess like they had a falling out. He couldn't get 2K to like be the type of man I guess Jeffrey needed him to be, or I don't know. They stopped talking, and Jeffrey is dragging him on this live and just talking about how like broke he is because apparently he's requesting child support because he has like custody of the kid, but like he gonna spend $800 on a bill. She's like, and then Jeffrey was like, "That's the cheapest thing inside of the Louis Vuitton store, dumbass." He was like, $800 for a belt isn't cheap. It's like, sweetie, that's the cheapest thing there, dumbass. And just like going off about how it was cheap, and then immediately was like, I forgot what exactly he said. I said, like, the real king of this app is about to leave, and then leaves because it was like a multi-live where it was like 4 people. It was like Jeffrey, 2K, and 2 random black men that I have no idea. And the entire time, Jeffrey was like thirsting over one of the black men. Was like, oh, he can cook too. I come with the 800 credit score, no kids, Rolls Royce, go ahead. I was like, bitch. Um, like the way Jeffrey was going off was just absolutely hilarious. And then he said the real king of this app is about to leave right now. Leaves the duo alive, and then he's like, 2K is a mass manipulator. Like he just goes on this like rant for like 30 seconds, and like I'm just like he's been waiting to say this because the speed at which he was just like throwing it out, and like it didn't even look like he was like thinking for the information. It was just coming off. I was like, oh. So, but the whole drama is really because like Jeffrey was dragging 2K because he's a broke baby daddy spending $800 on a belt but asking for child support from his baby mama. Meanwhile, 2K sits around and I guess or the
Well, um, I'm gonna wrap it up because I don't know what happened to Show. She has disappeared from my screen. Um, what was giving this week was the Last of Us episode. I loved episode 3. Not my favorite episode, but still a great episode. And yeah, I guess I'm just gonna have to wrap it up because I don't know what happened. She has left the stage. But yes, thank you so much for watching. I'm Noella Fierce. That was Show. That was Show Florence Lavoie. And we will catch you guys next week. Bye, everyone.